Good morning. Welcome to the Barrel Roll Newscast for June 2nd, 2018.
Today on the Newscast, we have some Sony movie news.
And quite possibly one of the leakiest E3 years.
Stay tuned, because that's all we're talking about today on the Barrel Roll Newscast. Hello, everybody.
Welcome. We're discussing stuff.
Barrel Roll Newscast.
Where we talk things about movies.
And games.
And mostly games.
Sometimes comics.
Sometimes comics.
Sometimes comics.
Mostly game stuff this week.
Yeah.
Cheers
Are
yourself.
you double fisting today?
Coffee? Water.
Classy.
Now diluted.
Can you take a third?
Gross.
Can you take a third?
Welcome to the Barrel Roll Newscast. I'm Nick.
I'm Tony.
I'm Chris.
I'm Brian.
We have a fully, I was gonna say
We're not used to doing this.
We have a fully loaded show today.
We do have a fully
like
loaded show
top
today.
and bottom.
We usually don't address ourselves to the post.
Top to bottom.
Perfectly balanced?
No.
Well,
Like
guys,
top-
two Asian guys.
It's perfectly
Oh
balanced.
my god, you guys.
That's whatever.
Either way,
Just jump
So-
into
Let's
it.
get the show on the road.
today's show is mostly about all of the E3 leaks. Like, that's been
This past week and
The
a
big
half.
news.
pretty much just
Week and a half, 2
game
weeks.
announcements because of leaks and this and that and
Premature
everything else.
announcements.
Like, obviously, Pokemon wasn't really a leak,
No.
but definitely a premature announcement. Like, that's something they could have saved for E3 and everybody would
You
have
know
been
what?
like,
I have my thoughts on that. I think what they did was the right way to do it.
I believe you're correct, but we'll talk about that
Yes, we will.
in
Let's-
like 10 minutes because
Yes.
first we have to talk about one other piece of
Small
news.
little story here.
Which actually is very, very relevant.
I dig
relevant.
this story because I think
Very
the idea of this version of an extended universe is stupid.
It's not needed at this point.
No, so the Silver Sable Black Cat movie,
Which was not going to connect with Spider-Man even.
nope.
Well, they
but
said that about
possibly
Venom,
connect
too.
with Venom.
But doesn't. Okay.
But
Well,
Venom
that's-
connects with.
So but either way, so
They're still teasing at that. There's no actual.
He's in IMDb credits.
That's
As
great.
a rumor.
I'm
As
not-
a
rumor.
I
And again-
can put stuff into IMDb credits.
And Tom Holland can legit just be like, "Hey!" and walk off. It doesn't
It's
necessarily
also Tom
mean
Holland,
he's-
so he leaks stuff too.
Yeah,
It's also Tom
Yeah.
Holland.
but that's
So
fine.
the big story, the big thing is the Silver Sable.
Black Cat movie
It
is
is off of
canceled.
Sony.
It's off their docket.
It is not.
It's,
I wouldn't say it's canceled. I'd say that it's not on their production.
it's
schedule.
off their
Back on the
slate.
shelf.
So if they want to, they can reinvestigate it. But at this point,
Here's my shtick with that movie.
I'm okay with it not being out.
People who don't know who Silver Sable is, which would be
Majority.
90% of the mass populace, like people who read comics
Yep.
know Silver Sable.
Yep.
People who don't read comics, it's not like Wolverine or Spider-Man or Iron Man, where it's like, oh, he's that superhero person. It's like, well, who's the silver lady? Who's the silver lady?
New character.
Black
know-
Cat.
Black Cat.
Most
As
people know
popular
her.
as she is, again, to the general audience, they don't. She hasn't been in any of the Spider-Man movies. She's only been in the games and the comics.
and
she
she's
was in
barely
the
relevant. She's barely relevant in the comics.
And in the comics, it's a
Was she in Spider-Man 3?
No.
No.
She was in one of the games because they meant to put her into the movie, and then they rewrote the entire movie.
Yeah.
I don't think it's. Never mind.
So the whole point
You're
to
not
like,
missing out.
and the big
No, I
point
think it's
to
someone
Black
else.
Cat is she's the foil to Peter Parker's having a bad time. Spider-Man, so he kind of goes full on into being Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then it's the whole like Mary Jane or whatever girl he's dating at the time, things aren't going well. So as Spider-Man, he teams up with Black Cat because she just happens to show up right when he's having lady problems as Peter. And she like adores Spider-Man. Like she gushes over him to the point where he's like, "Oh yeah, like still got it, Mr. Parker. Good job." and makes him feel good about himself until she does something that's illegal, and
Then he has
they
to
get
stop her.
they get into
He
it,
has to
and
stop
then
her.
so, his life as Spider-Man turns to junk, and he has to go back to being Peter Parker. Like the whole big piece to Black Cat is the dynamic she has with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And if you're not tying her
If you
into
don't have
that,
Spider-Man, yeah.
No Spider-Man.
No,
Black Cat doesn't really work. Silver Sable, I don't understand how she fits into the Black Cat.
Yeah.
a big
shtick.
piece of this, I think, has to do with Sony trying to have gotten a piece of the whole. Oh, females are like female heroes empowering.
And I
thing.
dig that,
But they're not in the position.
but you
to
picked
do
the
that.
wrong ones.
Yeah.
Like
I can't think of any other like strong female. Gwen Stacy,
Spider-Gwen.
Spider Gwen.
I was gonna say, if you're
That
going to
would've
go
been-
hard, go
yeah.
Spider Gwen.
Go
If you
Spider-Gwen.
really want to go like weird and obscure, go
And you know what?
Jackpot, because at least she's a hero.
And the nice thing, easy thing to write about that is that it's in a separate universe.
Right.
Nothing has to.
You don't have to connect it in any way, shape, and
Yeah.
you can legit say like, oh, here's because
Yeah, Peter Parker's dead.
he's dead.
Yeah.
Like in the Spider Gwen comics, spoilers because they're on issue
It's-
32 now.
Also,
so it's
that
not
happened on
spoiler
issue
anymore.
1.
Yeah. Peter Parker dies, and that's her
That's
Uncle
her-
Ben moment. Is
Mhm.
like, oh, I have to use these powers to help save people.
Help
And
as
honestly, I
opposed to-
really, really like the Spider-Gwen universe. It's
I dig it.
so interesting.
Well, because they can. It's like the Ultimate Universe when the Ultimate Universe started.
Yeah.
They could twist things and change things.
Oh, but they went
and tell
off-
a different story.
They went off the rails with the Spider-Gwen universe.
I know, like they
Yeah.
went full tilt, which is awesome. Like you have, Matt Murdock working for Kingpin.
The irony behind that is just
You know.
amazing.
It's just so, yeah.
They gender swapped a bunch of the villains, which I
They
think
gender
is
swapped
really
almost
cool.
everyone, like
Yeah.
and race swap too. Captain America's a black lady.
Yep. Yeah, they just went full tilt into like
It's
all those
fantastic.
changes they were trying to like work into the 616 universe. Everybody's like, why are you making Captain America like Falcon now instead of just having Falcon be a guy?
Be a guy.
Like, why does he have to be Captain America?
Just the-
I don't have an issue with that, but the way they wrote it in the Spider-Gwen one was much more interesting.
But that's what I mean, because it's more organic as opposed to what they were doing in the
And
616,
they
where it was just like, all of our heroes are either turning female or black.
here's Thor.
Like, yep, here's a
Here's
hammer.
Thor.
Just
here's
buy.
Thor.
Oh, yeah, I don't have Thor powers
And literally
anymore.
in that Spider-Gwen universe, it's literally an alternate universe. That's why.
Yeah.
I think that's what if a trailer for that movie would open in an alternate universe.
Yeah, but I would dig a Spider-Gwen movie as opposed to Silver Sable, Black Cat getting their own
Mhm.
Yeah.
thing. Like even a Black Cat movie, I don't see.
Yeah.
The stiletto.
Yes,
I agree.
but that's my thing is and I get trying to get into this whole female superhero
But
thing.
that's how you do it.
But yeah, you do it with characters that can actually hold a story.
Yeah.
Not side characters. They are good side characters.
Supporting cast.
Yeah.
Could you get it with
But
just
it's-
a
I
Black
think-
Cat movie then?
No.
No, I could
She's
get
a cat burglar. Like
She's Catwoman.
Yeah.
I saw
that movie turned out super well.
I never watched that Catwoman movie, but someone
never seen-
posted a video of that basketball sequence. Wow, that movie! That is probably the worst scene I've seen in any
DC
movie.
is really good at making movies. I'm not sure if you knew that.
Yes, yes. They've had one movie, and it's Green. I mean, yeah, no, like this Sable's like the lack of this movie. I'm not shedding any tears over it.
As soon as I saw that, like my news, my Google News feed has
Yes.
since come back into its own. Like I don't know what ever happened to it. It's like all these private policy things started popping up again,
Oh, yeah.
and it's like, oh, you haven't read like the news feed in a while. Like literally swiping left on my phone to bring up those news
Yeah,
feeds.
I actually like that.
I adored it, and for whatever reason, I just forgot it was there for the longest time. And then they're like, "Oh, your Google News has been updated. You should totally check." Like, I'm getting notifications and stuff again when
Wow.
it changes, and I'm like, "What? What happened?"
I don't even get that.
And I'm like, "This is glorious," because that's how I fell onto this news. I was like,
Yes.
Oh, I straight read it from
Reddit.
web. Yes, from Reddit.
So yeah, good news on.
Good.
In my mind, there's something along the lines of this where they're like, I don't think Venom's gonna do that well.
No.
Like abandon ship on all these extra things we're trying to do.
Maybe spend some time making Venom an actual film first.
Yeah.
And maybe do that, and
And
the
I
fact
mean,
that we have
You have Woody Harrelson in the movie as an unnamed character, which we
Carnage.
pretty much.
And he's going to be in the
Yeah.
sequel.
Pretty much.
if
gonna be
that
Carnage.
if it gets the sequel.
Yeah.
That's my
I
thing
think
at
you
this
need
point
Spider-Man in the
is
Venom
we have
Oh, no doubt.
Jake Gyllenhaal coming in as Mysterio. The
Yeah.
Vulture coming back in, apparently. Like, Michael Keaton's supposed to be
Yeah.
back in the next Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
And they're slowly building towards that Sinister Six thing that Sony was trying, but they're doing it properly.
Yeah.
Take
their time. Yeah.
Taking their time by
Agreed.
building up the universe and doing that whole shtick. And I think Sony's like, well,
And
the
you can't-
fans are reacting well to what they're... Why are they so happy about this Mysterio guy?
And then you introduce Alfred Molina as Doc Ock again.
He was a great Doc
I,
Ock.
I want Patton Oswalt as Doc Ock.
That would be good too.
Oh, that's actually not bad too.
That's a really good
That's
choice.
Because I think
I've been thinking about like
Molina's getting a little
Spider-Man
old.
villain. He is.
He is.
getting
He's
a
So
little
is
now.
Oswald.
Yeah, but Patton Oswalt also has, because if you look at most of the comic Doc Ocks, he's a
a little
shorter,
stout- he's
rounder
stout.
guy. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a stouter guy, which is the whole
It's just
point
his
of the
arms make him. Yeah.
Is he becomes powerful because of the arms, and I think Patton Oswalt has that. He could totally pull off that demeanor of
Yeah.
like, and do the really bad accent and everything.
Oh, he could
'Cause
do.
if I get,
he
if
could
I
do
get
accents
Otto
for
Octavius,
days.
I want Otto Octavius. I'm tired of this Americanized version of these these villains. He's Otto Octavius.
Octavius. That is not an American name.
Like the animated series got most of those villains really well.
Really well.
You know, like if I'm getting Otto, I want like Otto Octavius. I am Otto Octavius, and I am here to
Spider.
yeah, Spider-Man. And then you get Kraven the Hunter.
Kraven the Hunters.
And on all honesty, either make Kraven Australian or go full tilt with like he's some hunter out of like Wakanda or something crazy to tie it all together. and
Not
do
Wakanda.
something.
And I mean, like they've tied that Ulysses Claw off really, really well.
Did you hear the director for Black Panther is now like sad he killed off?
Really.
Yeah.
The cool character.
Well, he's like
I think he's super cool.
I thought he was great in that.
Yeah,
movie, and
he
that
was
was
really
the director
great,
now,
yeah.
like Ryan Coogler, sitting there going like, he's like, yeah, that was a mistake. We had a lot of fun filming scenes with him. Like it could have been good.
And Andy
Yes.
Serkis is probably really fun to work with.
Yes.
On top of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
I think
and
he's a
actually
great
being able to
person
work
to
with
work
Andy Serkis. Was there any Irish villains?
Uh,
Probably.
Bullseye.
Probably.
Captain Irish.
They're after me, Lucky Charms.
God damn it!
If Calendar Man can be a bad guy in the DC
Yeah.
universe,
Anyone could be
He
a
was
bad
barely
guy.
a villain.
he only shows up on
On
holidays.
holidays.
12 times a
Holidays.
year.
Guys, Easter's coming around the corner. Oh, there he
There he
is.
is.
Oh, it's Christmas.
Yeah, oh man. But either way, I think this is good news coming out of Sony.
collectively around the community, it's yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and in my brain, yeah, it's
Put
Sony
a
looking
put a
at
pin
it
on
going,
this. Do it later. You don't need to investigate this
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
People just need to take their time making these universes work.
And I think
But they're in
it's-
competition with each other.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I think it's showing off. Like Marvel, it's paying off
Yeah.
dividends.
That's because they kind of started it.
Yeah.
They
Everybody's
started-
trying to play catch up now.
Yeah.
And that's the wrong game. And again, like we've talked about this for
DC.
years, but it's DC's trying to play catch up, and instead of playing just make good movies.
And Sony's trying
Yeah.
to play catch up now.
Well, and Sony tried playing catch up with its Spider-Man stuff because they're like, okay, so Amazing
popular
Spider-Man,
again.
like Amazing Spider-Man, and I was like,
Uh,
and then Amazing Spider-Man 2 was really just a giant trailer for a Sinister Six movie, and I'm
Yeah.
like, but you still can't have Sinister Six without Spider-Man. I've read these arcs. Like,
there's a reason why Sinister Six exists.
Exactly.
they've done a beautiful story arc for Sinister Six where they legit, like, Spider-Man's part of it because they threaten his family and his life because Norman Osborn knows who he is, and he's like, if you want your aunt to survive and your little redheaded girlfriend down the street and the dog next door and all this stuff, you'll do what we want. And they
Yeah.
like attack the White House and all this junk. A bit more violent.
Don't
Ah.
I don't know if
Jeez.
it's...
Better story. Better story.
The only comic
needed.
book character that can get away with more violence is Deadpool.
Punisher.
In a movie.
Punisher.
And in a
Punisher.
movie. Yeah,
Blade.
Punisher.
See, and you know what?
Oh my
I
god,
honestly-
Blade!
Like, yeah.
Blade.
You know what? And honestly, watching the Marvel stuff, they get away with quite a bit of stuff.
They do.
Like, you watch Winter Soldier.
He kills a lot
Yeah,
of
he
That
people.
kills
part
a
where he
lot.
lands and gets up on that boat, there is murder left, right,
Left-
and center,
yeah,
and
he
those
kills a
kids
lot of
connect.
Yeah.
Like, he punches that first guy, like, off the boat or whatever it is. Put a guy's back breaks as
Yeah.
he hits
Let
the
alone,
thing, and then
let
falls
alone
into
with
the
Winter
water
Soldier
and
when he
drops.
throws a guy into a jet engine.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like,
That's pretty brutal.
I'm like,
there's-
and there's no blood. No blood.
Everyone is fine.
but in all honesty, that's how the comics usually
Walking out
pull
of the
it, too.
engine right
Just,
there.
he'll walk it off. He'll walk it off.
It's like, in my mind, the Marvel Comics movies are like watching a giant cartoon. Which
Yes,
is perfect.
which
And
is
I think that's what
perfect.
they're trying
That's what
to
you
get at.
need.
Which is perfect. It's the best mix between the comics and live action is to make a cartoon but with real people. So yeah, you throw a guy in a jet engine, the jet engine explodes, you don't see any of the blood splatter. Yeah, you just boom, and you're like, yeah, people explode when they hit jet engines.
Just like real life. And Captain America just fell off of a 100-story building.
In all honesty, that kind of thing.
Didn't break his arm.
Not getting into too much of the
100
post credit.
stories.
Well, no, I talked about this last
pretty
week.
hard.
30.
30.
But Game Night has.
Oh.
Game Night
Yeah,
has
he
a
was
scene where
halfway
someone
down.
goes into a jet engine. Like Game Night has that scene where someone goes into a jet engine at some point in the movie because that movie's just like
Bonkers.
all over the place. And the jet engine doesn't actually explode, but there's just like giant blood splatter, and it's like that's too much. It's not funny. I'm not laughing. The girl's one-liner after it happens, I'm going like
Yeah.
because of the blood. Like I don't think.
And I think the only people that can really get away with it are the gratuitous violence characters like Punisher, like Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Venom,
Punisher. and
Venom, I'd
Punisher
be
made-
interested to see what
Venom could.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Punisher made me squeamish, which it was supposed to do. Has everybody finished Punisher?
Season 2.
No.
No.
Only one.
Season 1?
Season. I
Yes.
barely season.
Okay, because there's like one scene where he just, like, in the last fight, where he just gets
Oh, yes, yeah.
brutal. And I'm sitting there going, like, I don't normally, like, my stomach doesn't turn a lot. I was sitting there going, like,
This is a lot.
Were they making?
This is
it's
a
like
lot.
wow, Netflix let them get away with a lot.
yeah, very much.
Well, it's because you had the setup.
No, and I get it.
Stuff.
I get the whole shtick to it, but like you're sitting there, I'm sitting there going like, but it's not like he does it and then goes,
Oops.
or says a one-liner that's supposed to make you giggle,
Yeah.
and that's how he gets away with it. The over violence in Deadpool makes sense because they're going over the top to be comical in a way, so it's not just like gratuitous violence. It's usually gratuitous weird violence.
Yeah.
Like, the blood splurts are way too big. Or, it's
For
not
whatever reason, the blood splurts have like a message written on the back.
something
of
stupid,
Yeah.
right? Like the guy hits the
Stencils
sign and
on the back.
crumples
Yes.
into a thing in the
I'm gonna
first
spell
one,
s-
and you're like,
I'm gonna spell his name out with dead bodies.
right? Like it makes sense in the movie Blade. There was never really
It's vampires and blood.
Yeah.
It was like
Because the
it was
vampires
a
would
lot.
just disintegrate.
Yeah,
Even
but
the
even
blood
still, when they're
stuff.
biting,
yeah, it
people
wasn't
were,
Oh,
like,
like,
ripping
yeah,
out.
yeah, it's
Yeah, but it
not
was
like-
ripping out of
yeah.
throats and.
But it still wasn't like they ripped out a throat and it was like,
Or maybe we were just expecting that in a vampire movie.
and that's another piece of it.
That too,
But that's
yeah.
the thing is like I think the Marvel movies have that perfect line of like you hear the crack that they a movie punch. If you
Or
ever
the
punch a
tongue.
person in real life, like
They don't
that's
crack.
not the sound that
No.
the punch makes.
Well, unless you kick a rib. Then.
Well, yeah, and again, it's a crack, but it's not that like even if you watch the old Indiana Jones movies, there's that like thwack sound every
Yeah.
time he hits someone, and it's like I'm literally watching Adam West Batman without the like blam, because they've added those
Ow.
extra sound effects to make you go like
Ooh, to make you
He
feel
really
it
got
more.
him there.
yeah.
Well, even when Captain America is using his shield to like kind of shield
The
bash
pung.
people,
Yeah.
that's it's a satisfying sound, but B, I don't think that actually happens when you do that to
We
someone's
don't know
skull.
vibranium.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
hear
we don't know what
vibranium.
vibranium does to a person's skull.
There's a lot of things we don't know about vibranium.
It actually cushions it pretty
it's
well.
the magical MacGuffin that they write off everything.
Yeah.
Why
Why
is
did
it
that happen?
Vibranium.
Wait till they get adamantium back.
Man, those two metals don't like each other in the comics.
Yeah.
I feel like if they all that well, and I guess that's other news we can talk about briefly is Marvel and Disney has set themselves up with a counteroffer to Comcast's $60 billion cash offer. So Disney's already prepped to counter.
Well, they were having Comcast was having a shareholders meeting
yeah.
to
And I
discuss
think
what they want to do.
And then I think they're voting at the end of July, so there's so many moving
There's
cogs
some-
right now.
But,
Yeah.
but Disney is prepped, so like Comcast is all like, oh yeah, well we have $60 billion, and my whole time I'm sitting there going, Disney just made a movie that
we
made
just-
like
yeah, we just talked
couple
about
almost-
it.
yeah.
$2 million.
like just a couple bill or
Yeah.
just shy of $1 billion or $2 billion. I'm sitting there going, here, just hold on.
Here's $1.
Yeah, that works, that works.
We're good. Good. All right. Cool. Like
Just do the Monopoly thing.
Honestly, I was talking to one of my coworkers, and he's like, "Who doesn't want stock?" Because a lot of the Fox
Stock is-
shareholders apparently don't want stock;
They
they,
don't.
just want straight out cash.
And
I
They
think
that-
essentially want this buyout to happen, and they're done
Well, then get your stock and then
and sell it. And that, yeah, you're just like he's sitting there going like, the stock's gonna only go up. He's like, Star Wars Land is opening. They're gonna buy Fox.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge chunk of
They
the
still
piece.
Avengers 4 still is not out,
Yeah.
and you've got so many things coming down the pipeline.
A lot
and
of
that's just
things
the
are-
movies.
Never
Think
mind
about-
all the other Disney conglomerate junk.
like
that's
Star
Yeah.
Wars as bad as as low revenue as Solo was.
Yeah.
It's still revenue.
Yeah.
Right. I think worldwide that movie breaks even. The only sad part to the Solo thing is people, like all these news places, are like, people have had too much Star Wars. And I'm like, it's not that people have had too much Star Wars. We need
Good Star
Good
Wars.
Good
Star
Star Wars. Yeah.
And from what I've heard about Solo, Ron Howard did the best he could to
He
save that
really
movie.
did. That's my understanding.
To do what he did, and apparently it fills in some really nice plot holes. So you know how you see the Millennium Falcon in Episode 1 or Episode 2 or whatever it is
Oh,
on
is that
Coruscant?
I heard about that.
Apparently there's like a one-liner that just kind of
Writes that in.
writes that in.
Oh.
Like everything's
remember
kind
it
of
being there.
explained.
I remember that. It was like a
It's
really
a-
small.
It's
Easter
been
egg.
such a long
It was a
time since I've
super
seen
It's
it.
small.
legitimately like in the background you see the Millennium Falcon just fly into a port. And that's it.
In the original, like episode 1 or 2. Or whatever.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
way back then. Like it was this tiny little like.
It was really
you
meant
had
as an
to
Easter
watch-
egg.
It was an Easter egg, but they've worked it into the Solo movie apparently. So it's like it ties up all these little loose ends, and does a pretty good job of creating a story. It explains the Kessel Run.
I will say though, there's nothing you can do to save midichlorians.
Wow. Well, you can, and they tried doing that in the Last Jedi movie, where it was just like the Force is like in everybody, man. You know, some of us are just more,
More
Attuned.
midichlorian than the
Attuned.
others.
more midichlorian than others. So either way,
let's
let's-
move on
yes.
from this into
the big news,
the big news that's still afloat for some reason.
Yeah.
man.
Oh,
Just keeps on.
The boat that's
it
still
keeps,
going.
it keeps on. It keeps on leaking. Okay, so E3 is what, in about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yes.
Just to preface this, I don't think we can do any like E3 predictions if things keep leaking.
That's
I
true.
have no predictions, which is good because I'm not sure I'm here next week. So,
I don't think we
Unless
need
we
to
can
make-
say we're anticipating the most.
So, I guess so. We can switch it.
That's a quick.
But mine's gonna be
Super
easy.
Smash Bros.
Death Stranding. Done.
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 all the PlayStation exclusives.
So E3 has
Spider-Man
been.
bundle.
If Walmart wasn't bad enough, has been leaking. Everything has been leaking left, right, and center.
Yes.
The big one this week was the Nintendo one.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Yes.
there's a blurry, not quite so blurry screenshot of a list of games that they may or may not be revealing during their direct this year.
Overcooked 2.
Overcooked 2, which was not even announced for
Yeah.
starters. A few other. I'm trying to think of two other that list.
Dragon Ball Fighters.
Dragon Ball Fighters,
Fighters.
as well as Fortnite coming to the
Yes.
To
Switch.
Switch.
Which I don't think they've ever said no to the Switch.
They didn't. They were never
They're just trying to
opposed.
work it
Never
into
said no.
it.
to-
No.
I
It was
think-
if we can, we will.
yes.
That was
So-
always the.
and that might
That's-
be happening now.
Well,
so.
and the nice part is, I think even with the Switch before it came out, everybody was like, "Well, Unreal wasn't sure if it was going to run the Unreal Engine, all that stuff."
Well,
And
we've
now-
had Unreal games now coming
and we
out.
have.
Yeah.
So that's the nice part is even
And
now
with
Unreal is.
And now with
definitely-
Unreal,
yeah.
you get obviously Fortnite. You get Fighters.
Fighters.
Maybe Overcooked 2 it runs on a smoother engine.
Smoother engine.
Yeah.
Maybe.
With Unreal, you never know.
There was more than that.
Fortnite for Nintendo Switch has popped up on the Korean rating boards.
If that isn't any indication right now, what else? What else leaked from the Nintendo one? I think there was like 9 or 12 games.
Yeah, there's a couple. Yeah.
And some of them weren't quite readable, or it's like, I've never heard that name before. So it's obviously a brand new title like Overcooked 2 is.
Yeah.
So that was the first.
That was
the first-
Nintendo.
yeah,
That was
the first big
Nintendo's
one.
kind of leak.
Leak.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
We were all worried about Assassin's
Sparta.
Creed sequel coming out, especially
Yeah.
from the Walmart leak.
Yeah.
Honestly, from what I understand, Origins is a really, really good game.
I
Yeah.
heard it's
It
fantastic.
didn't need another follow up, but we are getting Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I like how Ubisoft played it off. So how this happened was they sent out promotional material to websites and retailers and stuff like websites to say like, oh, game's coming up, don't talk about it. And of course, the only place that has the balls to leak shit is Kotaku. And so Kotaku's like, guys, look at this Assassin's Creed Odyssey keychain. And then, like, mere minutes after that, Ubisoft's Twitter page said, okay, so they posted a 5-second, like, GIF of the Assassin's Creed Odyssey?
Odyssey, yeah.
Followed by see you at E3. And I'm like, that's, okay, owning up to a leak. That's the best way to own up to a leak.
Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this also proves that Assassin's Creed can't hold any secrecy. 'Cause
Apparently
I think,
not.
like, the last few games have leaked this
Yeah.
way.
They said this is the 13th Assassin's Creed that's leaked.
There's also a new Sonic racing game.
Yep, Team
Yeah.
Sonic Racing,
Team Sonic
which
Racing.
is a bad name for that
Team Sonic
racing.
Racing.
Why not just call it racing? Isn't it
Sonic
like
Racing.
Reloaded or something like that?
Uh,
It had a really good title.
well, the last one was a transforming something or other. So it was all
Transformed.
the, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Sonic Racing Transformed. That's what it was because
So-
all the
But why call it Team Sonic? Like, why do you put the name of your development studio?
because it's legit. I think they're going for like a double dash type thing, or it's a
How?
like team. I don't know how they're pulling it off. That's why we have to wait. Like that's kind of the
There's-
nice thing about some of these leaks is like, hey, these games are coming out now. You can be like, ooh,
Ooh, how
What
is
are you
this?
gonna tell me about
what,
it,
what does
E3?
Assassin's Creed Odyssey look like? What does
Yeah.
Fortnite look like?
you
They
spend
say-
all your time on a boat,
They say it's a Greek.
Yes, it is
Yeah,
Greek.
Assassin's Creed.
which makes sense
Because,
for
you
the
know,
word
God of
Odyssey.
War has left.
Yeah.
It's safe to traverse.
Kratos has killed all the gods, and thus now is Greece.
Now the assassins will come in.
So that's another big leak, Assassin's Creed. There's about two or three others.
What was the Bethesda one?
Bethesda one. I'm not sure how that one worked.
Was it a leak?
Bethesda's wasn't a leak.
I
it was
honestly
more
feel
of a-
it was a timed release.
I think it
really-
was, 'cause-
because they were teasing a new Fallout for
Yeah.
quite some
They
time.
always had that standby
So, and
We'll see.
I honestly do think it was in a response to
But-
the Pokemon stuff.
Pokemon stuff.
But either way, we got what we got.
So
It's,
there was a trailer out for Assassin's Creed, or not Fallout 76.
So this is where they got to last night with those billboards.
That's fantastic.
Nice.
Cool.
So that's what I mean, like those murals.
They
or
might as well
billboards
just finish
were
it
pretty-
now.
Yeah, but that's the piece is like I think they announced it because promotional stuff was going to start going up. 'cause-
They were.
and a big piece of those billboards is it's not like you go like we're paying for this billboard from Tuesday to Thursday, and then they're down. You pay for them
For a chunk of
for
time.
a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
obviously they
it's probably a
probably
week
started.
after.
They probably started going. They're like, oh, you want these billboards? Well, you get them from June 1st to the 30th or whatever. We'll start putting them up June 1st, and it was like, oh, okay, I guess we'll.
more
So,
oops.
but yeah, like I just do think it is an auspicious like timed
Time
announced,
thing.
right? Like the morning after Pokemon announces all of its slates
Big
for
stuff.
2018.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about Pokemon?
Yes.
stuff
So
now?
Yes.
okay, so you guys were able to talk about this a little bit a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just kind
It
of
was
like the
rumors.
leaky
It was
information. Yeah, the
rumors.
Right,
rumors.
But,
and-
hey, it's all true.
Now it's all true.
Guess
Told
what?
you.
We are getting a Pokemon Let's Go Eevee.
Yeah,
and
but it is
Pikachu.
not the main title Pokemon game for the Switch.
Yeah, so that's the takeaway is that it's technically a remake of Pokemon Yellow, which is
Yes.
nice because everyone loved Yellow.
Yeah,
I loved Yellow.
I loved
loved
Yellow.
Like Yellow was great. You get your like your Pikachu, and obviously in this,
And all your
Get
other
an Eevee
three.
Yep.
the nice thing about it is that they're kind of experimenting with the combat and the catching mechanics. It's if you've seen the trailer, it's all out there. You do Pokemon Go style catching with one-handed remote, which I think is also amazing.
Yeah,
Just like one controller.
Yeah, you can just play the game with one
with
controller,
one controller.
which is
Just
awesome.
yeah.
Because you don't want to overcomplicate things.
No.
And on top of that, it opens up co-op, which was not
Yep.
actually leaked.
Yeah.
Like that's actually
Which-
a welcome surprise.
Yeah,
A first
I'm
for the
super
Pokemon-
excited for the co-op.
It's a first for the Pokemon series to have co-op in not a mainline story, but like in
It's
a
mainlining up, like it's still
it's
yellow.
mainlining. It's yellow, right? It's in a core game. So that's coming out, and they are making a new Pokemon Poke Plus for Pokemon Go. It's that little Pokeball
Mhm.
with a little joystick
Yep.
in it.
I don't know
it
if I
is-
like that.
Oh, I
I
don't
know.
Shut up and take my
I'm-
money. Shut up and take my money.
I'm
As
gonna
soon
buy
as I
it.
saw that, I'm like,
I'm buying
it's
it.
Tony's wallet.
He's gonna buy
I don't know.
6.
I
just
I
for
need,
his
to, I need
phone.
to get a belt holder for
Yeah.
6 of them. So how it works is if you remember the Pokewalker from Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
Yeah.
You can put Pokemon in there from the main game, from the Let's Go game, and you can carry it around with you.
You can
it
pet
also
it.
you can pet it. I think that's simulated. I do think
You think it's
that's
simulated?
I think that's simulated.
It's got an accelerometer and stuff in it, so you might be able to rock the damn thing, and it'll like.
Yeah.
It'll light up maybe, but I don't think there's going to be a speaker in there. I don't.
I don't know.
It's hard to say this at this point. But it also works in tandem with Pokemon Go as a Pokemon Go Plus. But in this case, it's the same thing. I'm super looking forward to it.
I'm really.
It's also got a rechargeable battery in it. It charges via USB-C, which is thank God. You don't have to replace batteries in a Pokemon Plus.
Yeah.
I think the big piece to Pokemon Go or the Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee thing too is it's not the mainline game.
Yes,
like
that's the takeaway.
Because when I first saw it, I'm like,
this looks good, but
I don't want to catch Pokemon like that. I don't want to fight with Pokemon like that. I want Pokemon. Like, I know Pokemon. If you're going to switch the battle systems and that stuff up, go big.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've always been of the assumption, like, if you're going to switch up the battle system, you know, Super Smash Bros. Has that perfect move set up. Here's 4 moves. Here's a basic attack, and here's a jump, and that would actually simulate quite a few of the Pokemon fights we've seen on TV, where it's, you know, that big standoff.
Have an ability to sort of move the Pokemon somehow.
Yeah.
And that's the right direction. And they're still holding firm to their word of, like, 2019.
Yes.
It's still a new game coming out in 2019.
Right. Yeah. So I think this
Here's
is a
something
nice,
until
like,
then.
We've been working on stuff. We have assets. Let's put a game together that's based on a really easy story.
I really think that this Let's Go Pokemon stuff it's very much their test.
Yep.
It was very much like, what would a Pokemon game look like on a Switch? Let's try to remake Kanto to see what it does.
And it does look beautiful. It looks like
one of the best looking Pokemon games I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. So and then if they incorporate some of that stuff into a new Pokemon game, it'll be good to see. So
like,
this is a nice in between. It's a nice combo with Pokemon Go.
Right.
It is a good like side series sort of thing.
Because there's a huge amount of Pokemon Go integration into this game.
Yes.
You can transfer Pokemon into the Switch game
and out, right?
And out. Yeah. Well, they haven't talked about how that works.
There's some kind of gift system you can send or something like that.
So people are theorizing, and I think it's probably not too far off from the truth, that this is going to be how trading works for Pokemon Go. Is you trade it into your Switch game, and then you find a friend, and you trade it over to them.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how it works. It would prevent a lot of spoofers, let's be honest. Like, I mean, spoofers can always buy a Switch and do it, but this makes it the barrier to entry a little bit different.
Yeah.
And it's not just like, I'm just going to make 2 accounts and GPS drift them to somewhere else and do a trade, right? No, I'm super looking forward to this game. And I like the fact that you can play with 2 people, which makes this simple. It makes the purchase way easier for us. For me anyways, we just buy 1 copy and play.
Exactly. Like both of our significant others have already said they would play this with us.
So yeah,
I'll play with you.
All right.
I like the fact that you can catch Pokemon at the same time. Like you throw the ball. That's actually really cool.
You think that now until you have to catch Pokemon with your significant others. And
fighting over it.
Then you're all staying here for the night.
And we're catching with each other. So what's the problem? What's the problem?
What's wrong with that?
I don't understand. What's the issue?
That's Pokemon. No,
Aren't you supposed to get into fights with people you're in love with? Come on.
And so the trailer wasn't quite clear on how the mechanics for Pokemon Go or Pokemon Let's Go works, but Niantic and Nintendo Company have talked about a little bit more since then. There is going to be combat in the game for not just trainer battles, which we saw, but also with wild Pokemon. They weren't quite clear, but it's still going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Pokemon Go related. So if you actually pause the trailer and look at the frames somewhat, it does show CP, which is the main source of power in Pokemon Go. So that obviously transfers over into the Switch game.
See, and I think the Switch game will be good for people like me who have no idea what
Pokemon Go is.
What Pokemon Go really is.
Right.
Thanks, Metric Beast. Like, that's my thing. I play Pokemon Go very sparingly. So when I'm with you guys or something like that, I'll play. If there's some big announcement, I'll hop on there just to see what's going on. But, like, we went for that walk the one day.
Oh, yeah.
And we passed a gym, and I just kind of hit a button until my Pokemon died, or that I killed that Pokemon. And it's like, hey, do you want to fight again? And I'm like, no, I'm past the gym. We're good. And it's like, you got a gym badge. And I'm like,
Hooray!
Yeah.
Hooray!
What does that do?
Yeah.
And then again, I look at my wife going like, what does the gym badge do? And she goes,
Why are you asking
What's
me?
Pokemon?
like, the two you're asking are way back there still trying to fight at this gym.
The one that actually knows isn't even here.
Yeah, and so I'm just like,
That's
I'm like,
true.
but that's my thing is like, the thing pops up and I go, okay, or something else pops up and I go, I don't understand what this
What
is.
is this?
Like, that's my problem is the game doesn't, when you first get that stuff,
Yeah.
tell you.
And on top of that, once you actually do get those gym badges, at this point in time,
They don't mean anything.
It
They don't
literally
mean
means
it.
it's like the points
just
don't
a
matter.
badge.
The points don't matter. Save for if you want to get Mewtwo EX-ray passes, that's the only thing it matters for. But
No.
even then, like, cool. Like, put some sort of reward system for getting all these gym badges.
And that's kind of my thing is like, I don't even know what they're for, so I'm sitting there going, I don't care.
I care. Yeah.
I wonder.
This means nothing
I
to
really
me.
I really want to know, like, behind the scenes with Niantic, like, if Pokemon Go didn't leak so hard, or if it didn't get released so early, what would that game have looked like if it came out side by side with this?
With
Switch
this game.
game? Like, how hard? Like, this is more than just like
Yeah.
a one meeting plan. Like, let's integrate these two games together.
Oh, for sure.
Oh
So,
yeah.
I'd like to see where that came from, because obviously that one E3, I can't remember his name at the top of my head, but like, he literally said, like, yeah, it's coming out next month, and the Niantic guy's like, it is.
Oops.
Yes. Yes.
Lot of
Nintendo likes to do
Not
that.
a
It puts-
oopses.
It puts pressure on the developers. That's
Yeah.
like when the Wii came out, or the Wii U, and they're like, we will have a Super Smash Bros. For this. And what's his name who does the Super
Masuda.
Masuda?
No, not Masuda.
Guy.
Sakurai.
Sakura.
Yeah, he's sitting there like, what? Like backstage going like,
I didn't make it.
is this why you guys invited me?
Is someone making it already?
Is someone working on this game? Because I'm not.
And then someone's like, "Oh yeah, by the way."
Yeah, well, and then he does. Like, he sat there in an interview going like, you know, Satoru Iwata got off stage, came to me and goes like, so we're making a Smash Bros. Game? Yeah, in? Like,
I mean, like, you kind of have to at this
we've
point.
announced it, so either you're making it or we're making it. Like,
Yeah.
it's.
I do think that was a flub on their part for Pokemon Go. Not the Smash Brothers.
Smash Bros. But
I just don't think that Niantic was ready for.
that announcement yet.
Yeah.
It's like,
But then there was a miscommunication somewhere.
Oh,
along the
totally.
lines.
Yeah.
You totally can see that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the Plus will be out like 2 months after the game launches. Also,
Yes,
it'll be out this date, so that means it has to be out before.
Yeah.
Go at it, guys.
Yeah, that's it.
So if Pokemon Go launched closer to the Switch game,
Yeah.
I feel like it would have been a vastly different game, a wildly
Yeah.
different game.
Well, it's changed so much since Pokemon Go first came out.
Oh yeah, between raids and gym
Yep.
battles and.
Pancake, do we just have to get you your own chair for that side
Yeah.
of the table?
She's just
As long as it's beside Brian.
As long, yeah.
My girlfriend.
just have a
My
little
boyfriend.
stand right here. She'll just
Well,
keep
she,
staring
you
at
can
the
see her head. She's just sticking up like right over the table.
right over the
My
table.
boyfriend.
She's like that neighbor from the Home Improvement.
Oh, Wilson.
Wilson.
Heidi ho, neighbor.
Ideal.
So yeah, that's more of a leak they got confirmed.
Yeah.
more so.
More than anything.
Honestly, like it leaked so hard.
I
whenever
think
you guys were talking about it.
Yeah.
This can
2 weeks
be
ago.
real.
I think Nintendo's really good about it. Like, you know, we're saying how purposeful some of these talks are, and I think Nintendo's good about spreading their news out over E3.
Right. Because now that we're going into E3, we can expect that, yes, there's not going to be a mainline Pokemon Go game until 2019, but there's going to be, like, stage demos for Let's Go Pokemon. There's going to be...
Pancake!
You're pulling our wall down. You're not pulling our TV down.
Burning the wall.
We now know what to expect. We're not going to
Sit.
lose our
Just
minds
sit.
over it. I mean, we obviously lost our minds when we watched this trailer
No.
reveal.
That's not
That's
city.
not sitting.
Is this not sitting? Ow.
No, sit.
I don't know. Anywho.
And that's my thing is
Now-
we've gotten to talk about Pokemon. We'll talk about Pokemon pretty much all the way up because they can just kind of keep releasing little tidbits of news up until E3,
Like
and then we get to E3 and we're like, okay, we're done with Pokemon. Let's get to Smash Bros. And Splatoon and
Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Our online service. and-
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I think is really cool that there's going to be online in Let's Go Pokemon, or Pokemon Let's Go, but you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a part of the whatever online service.
Online services.
Which I think is cool.
Sit down.
That gets you other people into the people play Pokemon Go a lot,
Yeah.
that don't play a lot of Switch games.
Yeah.
You're said.
It's easier to...
Sorry.
The barrier for entry is going to be a little bit easier. So,
Come here. Come here.
Go. Go.
Yeah, I don't think there was any
He's
other.
got that thing.
I don't think there was any other leak.
Not
that I can think of.
Hold on. I know.
Paladins is coming out for the Switch, apparently.
Yeah, that was part of the
That was
Oh,
part
yeah.
of the Nintendo one.
Yeah.
And FIFA 19, obviously, EA's
Woo!
support for the Switch.
Oh, jeez.
We're just fact checking right now.
Fact checking.
Or Tony is, anyways.
I think the one company that has been pretty leak-proof at the moment is Microsoft.
Because nobody cares, Tony.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think it's...
I think they're safe because if they announce something wild, it would be them. Because Sony's already
Like
put
what?
their-
Another Halo?
A better Sea of Thieves.
That's so
Sea of
ridiculous.
Thieves 2 coming
Left 4
tomorrow.
Dead. Left 4 Dead.
It's under your seats right now.
That would be pretty amazing.
You get a Sea of
You
Thieves
get a
too.
Sea of Thieves.
We realized the first game wasn't up to your guys' standards,
got
so we've been
number 2.
working for the last month to make a second one.
Cyberpunk is going to be at E3.
That's not surprising.
Which, looking forward to that one way or the other.
Anthem.
Yeah, Anthem.
Oh, yeah, Anthem.
Anthem got its stuff a little pre.
It wasn't leaked. I think
Prematurely.
they did that on. They did that one.
There's
There's a lot of them that are on purpose, but Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is coming to the Switch.
Surprise.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Capcom is now playing catch up
Yeah.
on the Switch.
Starlink
Don't know what that is.
and Killer Queen Black.
No idea.
Yes.
Those are all the ones that were on the Switch leak. But Fortnite, I think, is one of the bigger ones.
Mhm.
And Dragon Ball Fighters.
Fighters. Even as bad as
Even
that
fighters.
D-pad is on the Switch, I'd still play it. As bad as it is, I'd still go for it.
Yeah.
Because it is nigh unplayable with Street Fighter. I really do.
Maybe
think,
they'll come up with a fighting controller.
I really think they come out with a new left Joy-Con with an actual D-pad.
With an actual D-pad on it.
I think that's what they announced, and Nintendo should do.
See, and I don't. It doesn't matter to me.
I'm not a big fan of fighters, so.
I think I'm the only.
I'm just a big fan of
actual
Dragon
fighting.
Ball.
I was gonna say I like the Dragon Ball Fighters.
The Dragon Ball fighters are good.
And I've played enough of it to know how it could totally run on a Switch. Like, there's no way that game cannot run on
Yeah.
a Switch.
So
So yeah, E3.
E3.
All the holes.
E3 leaked.
All the holes are being leaked. Like, there's not enough plugging.
Yeah.
And you know what? And it's still 2 weeks away, so
There's-
more things can happen.
All the games.
Unless that's everything that could possibly be leaked.
And I like that Sony's bit was a couple weeks back pretty forefront. Like, we're showing Ghost of Tsushima or something like that.
Yeah.
We're showing Spider-Man. We're showing Last of Us Part 2 and whatever Death Stranding.
Death
Like
Stranding.
that was their big 4. Like, that's it. Don't
Yeah.
expect any other major, like, mind-blowing stuff. We'll have other stuff from third parties coming, like Black
Maybe.
Ops 4,
Maybe
Battlefield
Borderlands
5,
3.
No.
Maybe.
Gearbox. I can't see Gearbox putting
Hoping.
them. Well, with Rage 2 coming, like, being on as a massive presence as it's going to be, I think it's the
It's
wrong
gonna-
time to show Borderlands 3. I think they wait a little bit because at this point, people have waited long enough. We can.
You said that about Fallout too, and now you get Fallout 76.
Oh, so that was another Fallout 76.
Oh,
thing.
yes. We were going to talk about
So
Fallout 76.
So Fallout 76. There has been talk and rumor that it's not a traditional Fallout game. There's going to be a multiplayer,
Open world.
Online survival game.
online survival
Yeah.
game. 100 vault dwellers fall onto the wasteland.
Battle Royale.
Battle Royale.
But yeah, there's been talk about it being a multiplayer experience more so than a single player.
That'd be
And I think
interesting.
that's a nice change of
Yeah.
pace. People have analyzed that trailer that was shown off a couple
Yeah.
days ago.
The-
that it takes
20
place.
second trailer.
Yeah, so they say the premise of this is
It takes place literally in
20 years
the
after?
first Fallout game. This
Yeah.
predates Fallout 1.
Yeah.
Way back when. So this happens right before, or about 22
Yeah.
years after the bomb dropped.
The bomb dropped, yeah. That this
A
was
lot
the
more
first
radiation's gonna
vault
be
to
there.
be
Yeah.
open to
There's
see
no
if
super
it was...
mutants.
No, there are super mutants.
There would be if there's a
There
lot
are-
more radiation.
They said there weren't going to be.
They said that, but
Oh.
if people have read into the literature from Fallout, I think 3 and Mothership
Yeah.
DLC, that super mutants didn't exist, and they existed in other regions of the world. So there could be a possibility of super mutants. Maybe they don't call them super mutants.
Maybe because yeah,
They call them something else.
Something
Bethesda
else.
said there won't be super mutants. So
But
everybody's
they
like,
were
cool.
they were some like if
No
people
big bug.
And that's the thing is we don't know.
And people
Or
read
devil.
into all of those literatures from Fallout. If you ever played a Fallout game, there's a ton of stuff to read.
Yep.
Yes.
I skipped most
Yes.
of that.
I actually really I dig the amount of work and time that people put into those.
Yeah.
lures.
Fallout 3, I still think had like the best dialogue, the best this. No,
There's so much in Fallout 3.
I'm really, really impressed and surprised, and that they're not doing a Fallout 3 HD and they're doing
I know.
76 because I don't think I want to play Fallout 3 again. Not that
See, in Fallout 4, I thought was really good, but the story wasn't as strong.
Yeah, the story was.
Yeah.
And even the dialogue options,
Yeah.
where it was like yes, no.
Yeah.
Like at least Fallout 3 was like, the big long descriptions of what you were pretty much saying. Fallout 4 went to that Mass Effect, like, yes, no. Like, good answer,
Maybe so.
asshole answer.
Yeah.
Which one would you like to give? And it's like, I'll say yes, and then all of a sudden he says something, and you're
You're
going
like,
like,
no, that's what
that's
I
not what I wanted to say.
I didn't want to say yes in that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, 76. It looks to be a multiplayer online experience.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah,
I really don't
interest.
think it's gonna be a PUBG style game.
You think it's
No,
more gonna be
I
like
don't think so
maybe
either. I
an
think
MMORPG?
I
I
feel
feel
like
it's
you're
gonna
gonna
be
get a forest type game.
I was gonna say
So
it's gonna be a
horror?
Like
I
a
feel
WoW
it's gonna
game.
be a hybrid where it's like you can play this game single player. Obviously, they don't not make a single player Fallout game.
Yeah.
But you can have the option to jump into someone else's game
Yeah.
and be like, I am
help
also a
out.
vault dweller.
Help out with quests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you're
Wow.
against each other.
It's WoW.
No, I don't think they. I think they do a co-op.
Because that's the only problem with those games where you are building your own fortresses and that kind of stuff, as like opposed to other people, is other people. It's like jumping into EVE Online at this point. If you're all by yourself,
You're gonna have a bad
you're
time.
gonna have a
bad
horrible
time.
time because these
Yeah.
people have built these like giant, massive conglomerates, armadas, and
Like-
this kind of stuff,
like
and you're
5
just like
or 10 battle.
you're just like in
cruisers.
your little like fire.
I am a trade vessel.
Hello, everybody. I have some alloy back here. Would anybody like to? Okay, it's cool.
I'll come back later.
I'll come back tomorrow. This what time works for you guys?
Real time works for you guys.
Oh, okay.
Real time works for you. I think that's what you see is either a
Because that's why
cooperative
Brian and I
experience.
haven't even jumped into certain survival building games. Is we've read the reviews, and that's essentially what it is. Is people have formed clans. Like the game doesn't even have a clan system. People have just been like, if we all team up and build this grand city of awesome, we can protect it from everyone else. And you just all of a sudden like start building your own little like mud hut
Little
fort
thing, yeah.
like, I will live on this beach.
Can I join?
And they're like, no, you shall not. That is our beach. And you're like, but it's miles away. And they're like, it is still our beach. And you're going,
This land is ours.
My hopes and dreams for Fallout 76. I don't think it'll actually happen. Is that it's actually one giant perpetual world where you're playing with other people. There's also single player stuff to do, but you can see people again building clans, building stuff off
So
the
like
distance,
an
Wow.
MMORPG.
but not
Wow.
MMOE.
Not an MMO.
It's
no,
WoW, but
like you're
apocalyptic.
saying,
Not apocalyptic.
stuff. And the only problem with doing something like that is, and that's why, it's why WoW's done what they've done forever. Like, player housing's been something that people have wanted since the beginning, and they're like, well, if we just let people build houses wherever they want, eventually, that's all we're going to have all over the map.
Yeah, there's
is
just going to be
Yeah.
a bunch of...
houses.
And maybe they have fence it off where it's like this zone, build to your heart's content.
Yeah.
This place is actually the wasteland. You can't build there because
Maybe there's restrictions.
literally it's a wasteland. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and WoW kind of did that. Like, you entered out an instant zone that was yours, and it was your garrison, and you could upgrade it how you wanted to upgrade it and do what you wanted to do. But then you kind of got lonely in that MMO sense.
Yeah. Because
So-
no one else could go there.
Do they do Guild Wars style, where it's the reverse instance?
Maybe.
Where it's
The
what-
town is actually, like, full of people, but outside on the map is
It's
only
a
people in your
desolate,
party.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Reverse Guild Wars.
Reverse, yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll just do do the Guild Wars effect.
Yeah.
Or, the reverse
Because that actually
Guild
worked
Wars
really,
effect.
really well for them.
As long as you knew what you were getting into with Guild Wars, that was
Yeah.
perfect. The first time I played Guild Wars, I was coming off of WoW.
Yeah, you're not gonna.
You're
You're
like,
that's
gonna have
like,
a polarizing experience.
Well, yeah, so you go into town and you're like, okay, there's people, and you go outside and it's like,
There's no people.
where's
There's
all the
where's
people
all
at?
the people?
Where'd all the people go?
Oh, this is why they didn't take my money.
Yeah, exactly.
This is how it works.
But yeah, like that, and I dig the fact that there does seem to be more emphasis on the settlement type
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
Because Fallout 4 tried, and just pissed me off because it was like, this settlement's under attack, and I'm like,
I don't care.
I'm really interested to see how the story even plays out.
Whereas this
They
thing.
said they want the story to be still really in depth.
Right. And this does take place like 200 years before Fallout 4.
So that's my thing.
Certain things are going to happen.
Technology won't be as good.
Right. Like, even if you look at the trailer, that Pip-Boy, pretty archaic.
Isn't it was like pretty giant too?
Yeah, it had like lighting tubes in it or whatever.
Yeah.
There won't be a lot of settlements.
Yeah.
And then my biggest
And
piece
that might be your thing. Is like, let's build settlements in this game.
is either building settlements or like the mobile game is you had to expand your
vault.
your vault and stuff.
So it's going to be inside the
Because
vault
I
the
actually
entire time.
like I didn't mind
I played it really
parts
hard.
of that mobile game.
I played it really hard for about a month.
Yeah.
And then
And then I kind
And I was
of.
like, yeah. Then you're
But
like,
if they actually implemented something like that into a base game, where
Yeah.
it was like, oh, you have to go and get this resource from this place so that we can improve our, vault or improve our settlement, sort of thing. It's like that would kind of be very cool to slowly build up your
and to visually see that,
see it expand,
see it
and
expand
growing,
and grow
I-
and
get perks from
evolve.
that.
like overall, I actually am excited for a new Fallout game.
Yeah.
I could care less if they announce another Skyrim. But
Yeah.
Fallout
Well,
makes me more
that's
excited.
nice, but I doubt it.
No.
You'll wait a year.
Well, and
Next
their online thing, they keep releasing stuff for.
Yeah.
Like they're expanding their universe through the.
I think they just introduced Morrowind into online stuff, and I'm like, but people want that. in a
I know.
single-player game, not a multiplayer game.
And honestly, in my brain, WoW took off for Blizzard, and everybody was like, "Oh, there's money. Let's do it. Let's do the online thing." And people put so much money and so much resources in, because I know Graham tried
The online.
Skyrim online,
Yeah,
whatever it's called,
Tempted a little bit.
Sure.
Elder Scrolls Online.
Elder Scrolls.
And he sits there going like, it's the perfect single player game except for all the other people running around.
Yeah.
And that's the big piece is you release Elder Scrolls the game, and then every couple years you just go like Elder Scrolls the game,
2.
not even 2, expansion, Morrowind.
You mean a classic expansion style?
And legit,
What is this?
If you're sitting there going, okay, here's Elder Scrolls the game, here's the base game, it's a large world, think Skyrim, it's big, you can explore, you can do all this stuff. And then 2 years later for another $60 or $80, like full price, they're like, here's the Morrowind piece. If you have the base game, your character carries over and, things get real, or buy this as a standalone thing and you're starting in Morrowind. Like, just develop your game that way, so every couple of years you're just expanding your world.
That makes too much sense, though.
I know, and that's my problem, is I sit there looking at it that way.
That makes too much sense for Bethesda. They just want to make money.
Yeah.
But they're not making money.
Can you put VR in it?
Yes.
Yes.
VR in anything for their games. As
Online
long as you're willing
VR.
to run like this.
Or no,
Because their guys still can't run properly.
Yeah.
Or jump properly in third person.
What I would love to see in Fallout is just to see the evolution of the creatures that are
I just love Fallout. I love that world. I love all the creatures.
Except New Vegas.
It's grown on me, but not by much. It's barely good.
Yeah.
Except New Vegas.
It's barely good.
But yeah, Fallout 76 it could be interesting. And when they say non-traditional RPG, that's what I'm saying, is if your perks and stuff are tied to a settlement, that's non-traditional. You have to improve a
Honestly,
place to
I don't.
build your character.
If Fallout 76 was like Fallout 4 and it's a single player, it's big, expansive. Sure, that's fun, but that doesn't really progress your series any further.
No, so you got to think of something.
You have to think outside the box.
I would like it to be like Fallout 4, but I can play with friends.
And that'd be
I think that's what
interesting.
it is.
That'd be
That'd be a
And that's what they're thinking.
I think that's what it is.
That's what they're thinking about.
You're not the sole survivor of a vault anymore, and
But
I think that's where it goes off the mobile piece. Too.
How do you read that into the story too? Because it's like, oh, you're also the only sole survivor from Vault 76.
Other
Well,
vaults.
now they're saying that Vault 76, everyone is everyone in there
Actually
survived. Everyone
You're one
survived.
Of those vaults that there's multiple people.
And
Yeah.
you're allowed
Is
to
that-
leave?
Yeah, because they said Vault 76 is supposed to be the first one
to
to open to see if humans could survive. That was their premise of this. And
So that was their
that's what their
directive for Vault
trailer was
76.
everyone was partying we can leave. And so
Yes.
everyone had a big
Okay.
party and then they leave, and that's
Because
why
each
it's
vault was
empty.
a different was a different test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you weren't allowed to leave.
No. It depended. That was
Depending
all
on-
their tests.
yeah.
We might actually get to see Vault Tech as an organization now.
Yeah, you might.
But that's the thing is like Vault 101 from Fallout 4
Yeah.
was the cryogenics one.
Yeah.
Like people got in there all like, we're gonna live a good life down here. We're freezing you.
Yeah. Fallout 3 was just
Fallout 3
You
was
You escaped.
No, you live.
you were living in a
live-
functional vault.
Outside didn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outside didn't exist.
They
in
told
Fallout
you
3.
yeah.
because
Until
your vault was there for so long that
outside.
Yeah.
outside was no longer an option.
Yeah.
But yeah, like all the vaults, if you go into them in Fallout 4 and you read all of the stuff in even Fallout 3, all the Fallouts, each vault number had a specific directive that
purpose,
someone
yeah.
in the vault knew.
And
The
that
problem was not all the vaults
worked.
worked the way they were supposed to.
90% of them didn't work.
Or like in Fallout 3, I think like the director had passed on so many times, like there wasn't that book anymore that was like,
Yeah.
here's the rules to your vault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 200 years you're gonna open.
Yeah.
This is legitimately, so 76 is gonna be the one where like you open this
first.
day to see if
Because you were
We
supposed to
survived.
leave. Yeah, this is the first time that people were actually supposed to leave the vault.
And the thing is, apparently, according to the lore, it was supposed to open in like 21 something, but it actually opened 5 years later
Oh.
as well. People have reading into the literature, so it's like, whoa, they were late when they were opening their vault. So what happened? What could? And obviously, we'll see. in this
But yeah,
one.
that'll be the cool piece if yes, there's just other vault people in your vault, and then you can jump in as a friend and be like, hey,
I'm also from Vault 76. Let's high five.
yeah,
High five.
In the wasteland. Oh.
butt bump.
Action roll.
Yeah, Fallout 4 or Fallout 76, including action rules. Game of the year.
I
Does that,
miss it.
does that game come out this year, do you think?
Which
Fallout 76.
No.
No.
I think it does. I think it does.
Bethesda's
'Cause
not
they-
one to usually release a trailer without the game coming fairly quick.
Oh,
I'm
really?
thinking Christmas.
I think this year.
New Year.
I think this year, because when Fallout 4 was announced, they're like, Fallout 4 also in like 6 months.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
They're
That's
not
true.
Bethesda's.
Once they, they're like Rockstar. Once they nail down a date, they're good.
They're going for
Well,
it.
they don't usually release the trailer till they
Yeah.
They
supposed
know
to
it's
hit
ready.
That mark.
Because Red Dead Redemption 2 is another one of those where
Right.
they were pushing it back, but they didn't actually have a date to push back to. They just said, we're just going to push it back
Yeah.
until date. And which also, RDR2 better be this year, or else there are going to be riots.
Dog just made a funny noise.
Yeah, you get it too, right?
Heck, totally understands.
RDR2 needs to be this year, or else people are going to literally light Rockstar on fire.
Ah.
Nah, they
You
don't
see
care.
just
They're
Tony
making enough
there.
money off of.
100
Online.
cowboys land on in the Wild West.
They're oh god, everything's a battle royale now.
10
On horses.
10 out of 10.
Speaking of battle royales, is one little last piece of
Didn't
news.
Fortnite get its vehicle update?
shopping cart.
Shopping carts.
Yay!
You can now ride in a shopping cart.
Perfect.
On top
Does
of
someone
that,
have to push you?
But you can push yourself and jump in, or someone can actually just
Oh.
push you around in the shopping cart. As far as I've been told by my Fortnite experts,
Pro gamers.
pro gamers,
Pro gamers.
they come in first more than we do. But other than that, PUBG is again suing.
Oh
Fortnite.
yes. In
Yeah,
Korea.
yeah.
They were
Yeah.
they were talking about it a couple months back, but now they're officially
Trying to sue for
Sue
it.
for copyright infringement type thing.
And so the thing to read into this is that it's going to be in Korea only, which doesn't make any sense.
That's where the parent company for Fortnite.
right. So so how does it affect overseas?
Yes.
We are not
It's
lawyers.
not it's
Either
not
way, they're
legal.
trying to sue them, and they're going to lose hard because
Very
there's nothing.
Yeah.
I think their premise was that they were sharing HUD elements and game
Something like
weapon
that.
assets and stuff. They're
There's-
guns.
Yeah.
And
They're
also
guns
on
again.
Everywhere's, yeah.
And I'm sorry, if you have an AR-15, it's gonna look like an AR-15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna sue literally every other military shooter? for
Yeah.
Using your AR-15 model?
Apparently, what the big piece is they both use the or parts of it are using like the Unreal Engine.
If you do
for
that,
PUBG
you
and
can't. Unreal Engine is a free soft.
yes.
Yeah.
And so Unreal was like, oh, well, we'll just take all these assets that they used and we'll use that's what they're claiming happened. And I'm like, I've played both games. No.
It shares
They're
very
they're
few.
very,
Yeah.
Very, very few.
yeah.
Yeah, there's no point in when I'm playing Fortnite that I'm going, oh, this is PUBG. Am I
feels
playing
like
PUBG or
PUBG.
Fortnite? Which
Yeah.
game am I playing again?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Because Fortnite's making
Paladins.
a lot more now.
Clearly, I'm playing Paladin. So either way, PUBG instead of innovating their game, and that's the problem right now is they're losing so many players to Fortnite that they're just worried now, and this is their like instead of improving their game,
they're just suing.
They're just trying to just get the money back.
So I don't think this flies, to be honest. Like
no,
No,
it's going nowhere.
It'll actually go south for them.
Yeah,
more so than anything.
It'll give them bad.
It's going to give them bad press because that's pretty much what the online community is saying. Going, if you make your game better, we'll play it. Like
add more features.
Have actual events happening.
Events
again. The fact that
do things.
Fortnite, which is still in like early access, has the Thanos event or the 50v50 thing.
Yeah.
And like every once in a while they swap it out for something else.
Right, and it changes.
How many events have happened in PUBG?
Yes.
One.
There's a new map coming out soon.
That's not
Maybe.
An event. That's not an event.
Maybe.
That's not an event.
Maybe.
They have Dark Side coming in.
Maybe.
Dark Sea
coming into
DC will be like, here, let's work together to try and catch up.
What?
You let me kill Superman, I might be in.
Player unknowns, they're looking like, what the hell is this?
Kryptonite bullets.
But yeah, that's so I just thought I'd throw that in there since we were talking about that. 'Cause that's a stupid move by a dumber company.
Yep.
Because that's my big piece is like we play Fortnite more than PUBG now because Fortnite.
It's easier to get into. It's a little bit. The visual aesthetic is much there. It's there.
Yeah.
It's actually pleasing to look at. Whereas PUBG is gray browns. And when did we get back to like early 2000s where everything was gray brown again?
Thanks, Gears of War. Thanks, Cliff Blazinski. Look what you went and did after he tries making a colorful game that dies out.
I would have supported that one.
I would have supported that one over PUBG, honestly, too.
Yeah.
If it would have gone further. Like, that's my piece, is PUBG...
started it, which is fine.
Well, like, whatever that other game was. The mod was.
Arma.
Yeah. The mod for it was the start of it. And that's what everybody got into this big discussion when they started suing. They're like, why are you if only your game was based off of something else, and someone posted the name of the game, and they're like, if only that was based off of a movie or something. Battle Royale. Like, if only all these things were based off of other things.
Yeah.
And they're going like...
art is a lie. Everything is fake. Everyone copies everyone.
Everything's based off something. Everything.
Legitimately, we played... Like, we were playing Warcraft last night, and we played one of the oldest
Valley.
battlegrounds.
Yeah.
It's 40 versus 40.
Mm-hmm.
That's 20 people away from 50 versus 50, and that was 10 years ago.
Yep. Hell, look at Battlefield.
Sure!
Look at Battlefront and Battlefront 2. Like, massive multiplayer battles, yes.
Yes.
It exists.
Yeah. And I think that's why Fortnite's doing so well is because they've gone that extra mile to go, we're a little bit crazier, we're a little bit zanier, we're not just a regular shooter.
We made something that's called Portafort.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a porta potty, get it, guys?
It's dynamic. And I still dig PUBG for that aspect of the more realistic kind of feel.
But if you really
then you have to be
if you step back and look at what improvements PUBG has done over the past even like 6 months.
Yeah.
They've added a map.
Yeah,
right.
They haven't really done much.
Hey man, they changed grenades. They don't work like real grenades
You
anymore.
can vault fences and walls.
But do you have
Can you action roll?
Do you have a jetpack? Do you have a shopping cart?
See, and that's where
Can you turn into a bush?
Brian, this is not that kind of show. And I think that's one of the bigger pieces too. Is Fortnite goes, we're aiming for fun, and that's even where Battlefield 5, like they were talking about Battlefield 5. It's like we're aiming for a fun game, not necessarily realistic, but fun.
Yep.
Fun is why we play games.
Right.
PUBG has become just...
We are super realistic in military shooter.
And not fun anymore. Like, there's no fun to landing on the map and having to run the entire game to then just get shot by a guy who's been in the middle the whole time and has armed himself to the teeth.
Yeah.
And you come over a hill and dead.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
you invested all this time in for absolutely no satisfaction.
Like, at least Fortnite, that map's small enough. You know, like, if you land here, you can get to the other edge of the map if you have to.
And on top of that, there's actually things to do, like mining.
Yes.
Mining, you can do things on the way.
You can get wood.
Like, that's Tony's entire idea.
For some people, that's all they do.
You can
deforest. Do it in a handheld thing.
You can do deforestation.
Yeah.
Clear cutting.
So he clear cuts in Fortnite. I provide mass genocide in WoW. Like, clearly we should not be in any way, shape, or form any kind of world leader ever. But yeah, so that's that. But otherwise, yeah, a bunch of E3 stuff. So
Mostly E3.
It's just looking forward to the
Actual
more
day.
explained.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is
Game
what is
mechanics.
what is Fallout 76? What does Pokemon Let's Go look like? What is Smash Brothers?
Smash Bros.
Obviously,
The new
that's
Smash
gonna be-
Bros. Yeah.
Where is all my money to pay for these games?
Yes.
And the Steam Summer Sale still hasn't started.
No, yeah. Yeah.
It's not summer yet.
As Dragon Ball Fighters goes to like $20 on Steam or something stupid for the.
Because the Switch is
sale,
going.
yeah.
I'll still get it for just the Switch.
And I feel like
I
that's
feel-
me too.
That game is not. It's doing so well that it would be in its hindrance if they drop it, if they
Yeah,
this price. It'll
yeah.
be full $80
For a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
until at least Christmas.
Well, it was on sale on Steam.
Yes, it was, but like
It was
But
still
they're
like
only
it was
20%,
still
it
was $60.
yeah, still $60.
yeah, but I'm thinking like 50% off kind of stuff. It won't
Yeah,
happen until
well, that
Christmas.
was-
No,
Until Christmas.
maybe even
Earliest.
after Christmas.
Yeah.
So
She's just
Yes.
getting comfy.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. You can't get anything there. So either way,
That's
is
it for
us
now.
for right now. Join us in about 5 minutes for our post-credit show.
we're talking about movies and games
No, she
and,
has something though.
and things to talk about. We will see you guys soon. Well,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't press buttons, Tony.
What?
I don't know.
Press that one.
Yeah.
Is it pressed?
Now press that one.
We didn't even.
Bye.
Bye.